Okay, so in this video we're going to continue our detailing of the Yang style fan form. We left off in the last video with the grass bird's tail, so the next movement is single whip, and then from there it goes into wave hands like clouds, and then into parting horse's mane. So I'm going to see if I can get through all three of those in this segment. We might just get through the wave hands like clouds part. We'll see. From the end of grass bird's tail, we are here, facing this way. We've just done the withdraw and push. What I'm going to do at the very end of the withdraw and push is I'm going to let the fan dip down a little bit. Because as I shift my weight back on single whip, I'm going to flick it back and catch it and close it. It doesn't take a lot, just this much, as long as your fan's broken in a little bit. If it's brand new and you haven't been using it much, it might still be a little stiff for this movement, but eventually it will be pretty easy to get it to all close. Trust me on that. You just have to work it more. So at the very end of the push, I'll dip the fan down. I'm just kind of rolling it like it's almost becoming a wheel and rolling at that point. Not too much though, just a little. Now then, single whip, I'm going to shift my weight back, and as I do, flick the fan up to close it, and I'm going to allow it to turn and flatten out with my palm up as I pull my left hip back so the fan is coming around this way. Now this is slightly borrowed from Chen style, only because I like it. So this kind of idea of coming like this, and like that. Okay, so it doesn't mean you can't do it just because you're doing Yang style though. All right, so we're there, and on that turn, as I finish that close, I'm beginning to pull the left hip, and I'm going to allow the right arm to rotate. Don't overdo it, obviously, and pick up the right toes, turn, pulling with the left hip. Okay, the footwork is just like you're familiar with in single whip. Now I'm going to turn the fan over, and I'm not going kind of like this. I'm letting it turn over kind of like that. You notice that I kept the fan pretty level here rather than, you know, turning it over like I'm closing a large book. It's more like there. And if you were to do this fast, it would be there. So that's smoother rather than going, right? So we don't want that kind of action there. So we're going to go this way and turn the left hand, palm up. Shift back into the right foot and turn. And then I'm going to let the fan come out here as I turn the left hand back to palm down. So we are left hand palm up, left hand palm down, right hand palm up. Switch it, right hand palm down, left hand palm up. Switch it, and I'm just at the end of this turn. I haven't turned to the corner yet because that's when I'm going to open the fan by pulling with the left hip and a little wrist flick, just like when we opened it earlier with a little boom, as we did the ward off left. This is going to be similar. So here, right at the end, I'm coming in there, and I'm weighted all the way into my right leg, and then pull the left hip back, face the corner, and use that momentum to flick the wrist just a little. And we've got then the left hand, yeah, I said that right. Then the left hand will turn to the normal single whip position that we typically do when we're doing an empty hand version. It's right there. It's the same basic position as, you know, the standing palm thing. So to pull the hip, step with the left foot, same step as in the empty hand, shift, I'm not turning yet, shift, pick up your right foot, now turn. Okay, and then a little turn, a little pull back with the right hip to get that left hand to settle, just like we do in the empty hand version when I'm here and do that. It's just I've got a fan. So the fan was blocking the view, that's why I put it down so you can see. That's that same thing we do in the empty hand set, okay? So that's single whip. The footwork is exactly like you already know it. There's no difference. Remember we break single whip, we can break it down into 8 things with the footwork and waist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's no different. It's just the little when you got to open the fan. That'll feel a little bit different, but it shouldn't feel terribly different from the empty hand version, because if you were to do single whip a little faster, you have that same kind of idea, except the energy's coming out this way rather than that way. But it's the same turn of the waist, pull of the left hip, biomechanics. Okay? All right, so now we are at wave hands like clouds, which happens in the long form often, where, well, 3 times I guess, where you finish single whip and then you go into wave hands like clouds. So this transition will prepare you to do the 108 long form, that part of it anyway. And let's just talk about what the feet do first. Without the fan, coming out of single whip into wave hands like clouds, we're going to shift back, pick up the left toes, turn by pulling with the right hip, so the left foot is pointing to the corner, or maybe a little further if you like. Shift into the left foot and turn by pulling the left hip back. We're going to turning the right foot forward, shift into the right foot, and step up with the left by pulling. That's a pull with the hip to get the left foot to step up, pull back with the right hip. All these things are pulls with one hip or the other. So I'll do this with the fan, and still detailing what the feet are doing. I'm going to close the fan on the shift back. That's going to feel very much like closing the fan coming out of Grasper's tail into single whips. The same idea. Flip that wrist just a little bit. So we're here, flip it. I'm going to turn, shift into the left foot, and pull the left hip back. As I did that, I dropped the right hand down, so the fan is here. Okay. Now I'm going to switch the fan and the left hand in terms of the height. So the fan's coming up, the left hand's coming down as I turn. That happens as I turn the body and straighten the right foot forward. Shift into the right foot. And now I'm going to switch the hands again and pull the right hip back and step up with the left foot. Now you can do this a number of ways in terms of the fan. Does the fan go on the inside of your arm? Does it go on the outside of your arm? I would probably prefer the fan to go on the outside. And the reason why is sort of more of a martial arts thing. If this were sharpened, and I realized that earlier in the form we came like this across the palm, but I really don't want the point coming too close to the inside. I'm going to come this way like that. Okay? Left hand coming along the inside. So we're back. Now the rest of this looks just like wave hands like clouds, except you're not going to turn this all the way out like that. Just keep the fan level and the palm down with the right hand. So wave hands like clouds. And we do 3 of these, but the way we count it is the first one starts right away. So the first one actually starts right here. This is 1. Now 2. Now 3. Now, what we're going to do is, after this, coming around to the end of the 3rd one, instead of shifting my weight into the right leg, I'm going to leave my weight in the left and just turn to the corner. Right foot turns to the corner. Then shift in, draw the left foot up, shift in and hook step around. That's what I'm going to do. So let's do that again. As we're doing this here. On the third one, weights in the left foot. I'm going to turn, keeping the weight in the left, shift into the right, and then pull the right hip back a little bit more and hook step around with the left, okay? And as I do that, I'm going to drop the fan down. It was palm down. I'm going to drop the fan down, palm facing the camera actually, so that the fan is lined up vertically, because I'm going to open it up again. So we're here. So last time from this one, turn that foot out, shift, hook step around. Now we're starting parting horse's mane. I'm going to shift into the left foot, pull the left hip, release the right foot, pull it in, flick the fan all at once. There again, you want to be careful. Don't bend your wrist too much and get the fan coming back at you. We want the fans pointing right towards the front, okay? And we're basically holding the ball here. Parting horse's mane is to side step out with the right foot, turn the foot, shift and split. I'm going to hit the back wall here, okay? That's right. And then I'm going to, that's the first one. Second one, close the fan and bring the left foot up. So I'm going to weight all my weight into the right foot, close the fan and bring the left foot up. And then as I finish bringing the foot up, I'm going to turn the fan over and scoop the left hand underneath. I kind of have to do this facing the camera. So the three of them go from here to 1, 2, back, and 3. So but I'm running into the wall a little bit. Plus, I don't think you can see all the details. So I'm going to do each one just facing the camera a little bit, and hopefully you can catch on. So to what's going on. So on the first one, we're here. I'm going to step out. Notice that's a side step. I haven't turned my body that way yet. I'm sort of stepping out like a sideways. Then turn the foot, shift, turn the body, and turn the back foot up. Okay? And that will be going off to the back corner normally. So there's that one. Then the transition is going to be to shift and close the fan, and then everything's going to flip over like that. So it's going to look like this. It's hard to do slow because notice how I turn the fan over as the left foot arrives by my right foot. So then side step out with the left foot, and then turn the left foot, shift, turn, turning the right foot in. There's the second one. So actually it should be flatter. I was almost doing ward off left. It should be flatter like this, and the fan pulled back more. So the difference between this and this is parting horse's mane. The difference between this and ward off is mostly the end position of the arms, whereas ward off would be more like this, and the parting horse's mane is bigger, more extended, and the left palm is facing a little more up. Okay, then the last one from here, I'm going to do that same transition we do for Grassbird's tail, getting into Grassbird's tail, where I shift back and turn. Same exact thing. Then we just step out and do parting horse's mane that way. So they're all three that direction. And let me just do the last wave hands like clouds and do all three of those, and I'll try not to get off camera here. So we're doing wave hands like clouds. Okay, here's the last one. Step in with the right foot, turn. And that'll do it for this video. So the next one will cover the last two movements of this line, which involve a step up and a turnaround and kick. And we'll see you in that video. Thanks.